Hey, you guys, Rasatiad here in Singapore, and thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. You guys, I am so excited to be back on the grind. I took a couple of days off, but I figure, better get back on here, start recording again, because there's so much to discuss, right? There's so many aspects of life, and every day is filled up with so many different moments, and I know that there's a lot to consider, and there's a lot of peace to be found in all of those moments if we can just know where to look. And that's part of the reason I wanted to be on here tonight. So I caught sight of one of Gary Vee's recent posts, and it's about disrespect and being nice. And it's kind of like an infographic, like it's like a mind map almost of what to do in the event that somebody disrespects you. More importantly, for me, the first thing I picked out of there was, okay, well, what does it mean to be disrespected? And that's something that you got to answer for yourself, because what's disrespect for me may not be disrespect to you. So back to the infographic itself. Basically, it's like, what do you do? How do you manage, right? So if somebody were to, let's say, disrespect you, you're going to acknowledge whether or not they did or did not. Do you feel disrespected by them? Do you feel like, your ego is a little bit hit with something they said or something they did, some of their behaviors maybe? And if it is something that you consider disrespect, what do you do next? Where is it happening? Is it happening in life, or is it online? If it's online, are you is it somebody that you really know? Have you blocked this person already? Or is it something that you are trying to get back and tell them that it's disrespect? Like you're trying to school them on what's going on? What's the deal? If it's in real life, have you distanced yourself from that person? Have you let them know that this is what disrespect feels like to you, or you're offended by whatever it is that they did or said? And it's like a yes or no, yes or no. I mean, is this how you're managing it? The other question is, do you really care if this particular person is disrespecting you? Does this person matter to you? Does their opinion matter to you? Are they someone that's close to you, or is it some like random passerby that happens to say something stupid on the way out, like somebody on the bus, or somebody you walk by in a, kopitiam or the NTUC or something like that? Like, is this something you really care about? Another question is, was it done to your face, or was it done behind your back? And does that matter? Does it matter that they did it to your face, or did you hear from a third party that they were being disrespectful about you? And personally, would this be somebody that you would really need to put the relationship first and try to mend the relationship and at least school them on what's going on? Or do you want to just let it slide and be like, you know what, they don't know, but I'm not going to waste my time. This is just the way it is. But bottom line is, he wants everyone to be nice. However you handle it, you got to be nice. You can't stoop to their level and be disrespectful right back to them, because then you're not actually fixing the problem. You're exacerbating it. You're making it bigger than it actually is. So I'm not saying you're imagining it to be bigger, but by you adding to the negativity, the disrespect or whatever, now it becomes two people being disrespectful to each other, and it will go back and forth unless somebody says, yo, this is dumb. I don't really appreciate this. I'm going to distance myself or block you, and we're done. We don't need to communicate any further. For all intents and purposes, that's like the simplified version of all this, right? But there are so many questions to go into that. So let me take a couple of examples for you. There have been moments when baby girl is just upset about life in general, and it has nothing to do with me. But if I ask her a question, or if I correct something that she's doing at home, and because she's already in a mood, she tends to disrespect me because she's not in the mood to hear it from anybody else, right? And I'm not saying that it's okay, it's not. But at that point, I need to check myself and say, hey, it's happening to me in real life. It's happening in front of my face, not behind my back. She's not like, mumbling behind my back or anything. And I need to check and see whether it's something that I want to fix, as in like I'm going to say something and help her understand that, this is not the best way to handle this. And yeah, I'm your mom. I can sit here and tell you this stuff, but if you handle it this way with like a teacher or with a best friend, you're in danger of losing that person. So in that event, right, I got to sit down and school her, because her relationship with me, very, very, very important. And the way she sees me, very important. But the way she walks about in life after I am gone, or when I'm not in her presence, even more important, because it will keep her safe or get her into more trouble. That's the way I see it, right? When it comes to my daughter, there have been moments where one of my close friends, because they're in a bad mood, or because they're frustrated with something, and usually it has nothing to do with me, or in the sad events that sometimes it's something that I did that pissed them off or whatever, the way they handle it can really, really be upsetting or disrespectful to me. So I'm of the opinion that if I am offended by something somebody does, right, there are many ways for me to tell that person, hey, this hurt my feelings, or hey, this, you made a mistake. It could have been done different. A lot of people that I've come across, right, their go-to move is to criticize and make fun of the person for having made the mistake. And it could go something like this, like maybe had a piece of wood lying around in the house, right? And it was in a small corner. It really didn't offend anybody or move it wasn't anyone's way. It was kind of in a corner. And then one day I happened to go clean out this corner or to have to pull the wood out. And this person standing over my shoulder talking about, oh, well, what is that for? What'd you keep that for? For like safekeeping or something? What are you going to pray to that or something? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm thinking, it's a piece of wood. I'm clearing it out. What is your problem? Why is it offending you? Why is it pissing you off so much that you're going to put me down, criticize me, shame me because I had a random piece of wood sitting around the house? But you're not the one cleaning it. You're not the one. This is not your house. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? So there are moments like that. And it's more often than not that I find that people would rather criticize and make fun of you than actually come straight to the point and be like, okay, that's kind of random. Why is that there? That would have been a simple question. I could have answered like, I don't know. Or like, I kept it and then I didn't do anything with it. Like, I could have answered the question. But the minute you start calling into question my character for having random stuff around the house, then I gotta be like, yo, what is your deal, dude? Why are you so upset about something that's so random that has nothing to do with you, not even your house? Like, yo, chill. You know what I mean? So there are those people out there, but how do you deal with those people? Again, it comes down to, is this relationship important to you? Does this person's opinion matter to you? Does their mental health and their state of mind matter to you? Otherwise, you can say fuck off and keep on going, or you can ignore them and keep on going. But for most times, when those people are in my life, I need to check with them and be like, you good? And if not, I may joke it off and pretend like it doesn't bother me, and then I'll sit and think about it later, because it's not worth putting them in their place or telling them, hey, do you not know how else to speak? Is this the only way you know how to speak? To put people down and condemn them because you don't understand their choices or their beliefs or their actions? Like, there are so many ways you could ask. Why did you do that? Simple question, right? Man, what's wrong with you? Is the same kind of question with a completely different tilt on it. So it matters the way you speak. It matters the way you approach situations, which at the bottom of this quote, this post, he continually says, you got to be nice. No matter what you do, you got to be nice. And I'm fully inclined to agree, because if this person starts off with criticism and hatred and, disrespect and non-tolerance in their heart, the worst thing that I could do is match his energy, right? And then suddenly there's like double the amount of energy going on, and we're going back and forth, and we're not even asking the right questions or tackling the problem at hand. We're fighting each other. It's like we've been sidetracked or derailed or distracted. So this is why I'm saying it's very, very important the way you communicate with each other. It's very, very important for you to define what disrespect is and why it's disrespectful to you. What is it that you hear in their voice, their tone, or their choice of language that is disrespectful to you? Another example, I have never in my life been cursed at before. Now, I curse in passing, but not cursing at people, like I may say fuck this and fuck that and, this bastard or this bitch or whatever, sometimes, okay? I don't do it all the time. I'm trying to be better, right? But when I do drop those words, it's not directed at somebody. I'm not calling someone an asshole. I'm not calling someone a motherfucker. I'm not calling them, you fucking idiot, okay? What is your fucking I don't speak that way. So when someone speaks that way to me, I find it highly offensive. Whereas that seems like everyday garb to them, like just jargon that they use all the time. But when it's directed at me, I get very, very perturbed. I get really upset. And it's one of those moments where I shut down and I become this blubbering idiot of a child that doesn't know how to manage anything anymore, because this person is so unpredictable and wild to me that I'm afraid of upsetting them further where it may turn violent. That's the response that I go into. Right? But I'm a full-grown adult. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I've been doing this a very long time. But in the presence of some of those people, this is what happens to me. So if it can happen to me, and I've been working on, emotional intelligence and mental health and strength and clarity and confidence forever, and it still happens to me, right? On the occasion that these kinds of people cross my path or whatever, I can only imagine what happens to all of you. So this is why I'm telling you, it's really important for you to define what disrespect is to you. It's really important for you to keep in mind that when you go to correct this person or not put them in their place, but let them know, hey, what you did, not cool. I'm not cool with it. There are so many ways that you could say it. And there are some loving ways and there are some hateful ways. And the hateful ways usually bring up more defense mechanisms in the other person, and it puts them on their guard and puts them on, an offensive position because they want to fight you back or whatever. And you're not going to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Whereas if you come at it with love and be like, all right, poor thing, he don't know better. God bless your heart. All that Southern comfort, hospitality kind of stuff. If you come at it with love, meaning to say that they don't know any better, then you go into teaching mode instead. It's not to put them down. You're not looking down your nose at them. It's more like, let me put it to you this way, okay? I know you meant well and you probably were trying to get to a point or whatever, but the way you said that hurt. That was offensive to me. I didn't like the way you said that. That upset me. I didn't appreciate that. I've never been spoken to like that in my life, and please don't do that to me. So there's so many ways you can approach it, but bottom line is you got to be nice, which means communication, right? You got to know what it is that you want to tell the other person instead of attacking their character or attacking their upbringing. Where were you born in a barn? Like, you can't say any of that because it's not going to tell them exactly what it is that you're upset about. It becomes a vague comment. And I think I've talked about this before, where if you're going to correct somebody, you need to be specific about what it is that you need them to correct so they know exactly where to go and fix. If you talk about, oh my gosh, you're so undignified and you're like, your father's child, all those insults that are kind of vague, but they do hit, they're not going to know what to change. They're not going to know what it is that you actually mean. They know the insult. They know damn well that you're insulting them, but outside of that, they don't know what to fix. And eventually, if you continually do that, they're not going to want to fix anything. You hear what I'm saying? So, as deep as this post was, okay, it wasn't really that deep. It was pretty straightforward. The point is, if somebody disrespects you, how do you deal with it? And the way you deal with it really does matter. The words you choose to use, the way you choose your actions, they matter because they are a reflection of your character and your standing in the world. Who are you? What do you stand for? What kind of person are you? Are you just like the person that's offending you? Or are you a little bit more mature, a little bit more self-aware? You're able to understand that they're coming from a place where they don't feel so great, and that you are being invited to an argument that you don't have to attend if you don't want to. And having that choice itself means that you can choose differently. And you can choose to be nice and choose to respond in such a way that actually preserves the friendship or makes it better because you've been able to move past a specific hurdle or whatever. But it really is a choice that's in your hands. So I hope that made sense. It's a little bit of a ramble. But I think it's really important. This is why I teach self-awareness. This is why I'm a people person. This is why I focus on human relations. This is why I probably should have been in PR. But that's okay. We got time for that still. But in the meantime, you guys, I'm hoping this makes sense. And if you have any questions, drop them down below and I will get back to you. And yeah, I'll catch you soon. Bye.